Welcome, my friend, to a journey that can truly change your life forever and unlock hidden powers inside your brain you never thought possible. Have you ever studied hard, felt confident, but when the exam came, your mind suddenly went completely blank and you forgot everything you learned? Or maybe you met someone new at a party, shook their hand, smiled, but 5 minutes later, you couldn't recall their name no matter how hard you tried? Perhaps you walked into a room, certain you had a purpose. But suddenly you stood still, unable to remember why you even entered that room. These moments are not weakness. They are signals. They are proof that your memory is not broken, only untrained, waiting for a system to guide it. And today, I will give you that system. 12 steps, proven and powerful, that can change how you learn, think, and remember forever. But here's something even more exciting. As you follow these steps, you will also improve your English naturally with real sentences, stories, and unforgettable vocabulary. So whether you want better grades, a sharper mind, fluent English, or unshakable confidence in yourself, stay with me until the very end, because this is not another list of 5 cheap tricks. This is a cinematic journey through the science of memory and the art of language mastery. Before we dive into the first step, let me introduce a character who will walk with us through this journey. A student named Milan. Milan is like many learners today, smart, hardworking, but constantly frustrated. He studies hours every night but forgets half of what he reads. When Milan hears English words, they vanish the next morning. He blames himself, calls himself weak. But the truth is, his brain is simply waiting for training. And perhaps, as you listen, you will recognize a part of yourself in Milan. His struggles are your struggles. His transformation can be yours too. So let us begin. Step 1. Understand how memory really works. Because before you master your brain, you must first know its rules. Imagine your brain as a massive library. Every time you learn something new, it is like placing a book on a shelf inside this library. But here is the problem. Most people toss the book carelessly without labeling it, without checking it, and soon it gets buried, lost, or forgotten. This is the difference between short-term memory and long-term memory. One is like a whiteboard. The other is like a notebook written in stone. Short-term memory holds information briefly, then wipes it away. Long-term memory keeps it safe, clear, and permanent, ready for life whenever you need it. The reason Milan forgot English vocabulary was not because he was stupid. It was because he left words floating on the whiteboard without moving them deeper. Think about it. You hear a new name, you smile, repeat it once, then never think of it again. Within minutes, the name has disappeared completely. But if you pause, repeat it twice, connect it emotionally, picture it visually, suddenly the brain says, yes, this matters. Let's keep it forever. Memory is not a gift for the lucky few. It is a skill anyone can master. And today, you are going to prove that for yourself. So remember this truth. Your memory is not broken. It is your system that is broken. And now, we are building a brand new one together. Now let's move with Milan into step 2. Pay full attention. Because you cannot remember what you never truly noticed with focus and clarity. Attention is the gatekeeper of memory. If the gate is closed, nothing enters. If the gate is open, everything you choose can be stored forever. But the modern world is built to steal your attention. Notifications, distractions, endless scrolling, they all keep your brain scattered and your memory weak. Imagine Milan sitting in class. The teacher speaks important English sentences, but Milan is daydreaming about lunch. Later he says, I studied but forgot. No, he didn't study. He was physically present but mentally absent. His brain never captured the data, so there was nothing to remember later. Attention is like shining a spotlight. Whatever you focus on becomes clear, bright, unforgettable. Whatever you ignore fades into darkness like it never existed. So let's test this with you right now. Look at the object closest to you. Say its name out loud 3 times. Picture it in detail. Hold it clearly. In this small moment, you just trained your brain to pay attention. And that is the beginning of transforming weak memory into strong memory. From today, promise yourself one thing. When something matters, stop for 5 seconds. Look, listen, repeat, feel, because 5 seconds can equal a lifetime of memory. This was Milan's first big breakthrough. He realized forgetting was not failure, it was distraction. And focus was the master key that unlocked memory. And now, step 3, turn words into pictures. Because your brain was not designed for text. It was designed for images, colors, and living scenes. When I say the word elephant, you do not see letters. You see a giant animal with a trunk, ears, and heavy steps. That is how memory works. So if Milan wants to remember English words, he must create pictures. The stranger, funnier, or more emotional the picture, the stronger the memory becomes. Example, Milan meets a girl named Lily. Instead of repeating the name once, he imagines her holding a giant bouquet of white lilies while smiling brightly. Now Lily's name is alive inside his mind. Not just a sound, but a picture, a flower, a memory that will never leave him again. Your brain loves stories and pictures, so don't just learn vocabulary. See it. Don't just read facts. Imagine them. Don't just hear names. Visualize them clearly. Mini challenge. Take 5 words right now. Cat, shoes, milk, book, apple. Create a crazy story with them and replay it in your mind. Can you do it? You probably just laughed at your story, and that is exactly why you will remember all 5 words tomorrow. Laughter and images make memory permanent. Milan was amazed. For the first time, he realized learning could be fun. Memory wasn't about stress. It was about play, pictures, and stories. That brings us to step 4. Use the story method. Because the human brain is wired for drama, for connection, for emotional journeys that bring meaning to facts. Lists are boring. Apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud. Within minutes. Most people forget. But stories live forever because they create living movies in your head. Let's turn that same list into a story. Imagine a giant apple falls on a horse. The horse steals a jacket and lights a candle. The candle melts an ice cream cone. The ice cream explodes into a cloud raining socks. One sock hits a chair, which grows into a tree. And finally, from the tree, a monkey swings down, laughing loudly, giving you a thumbs up. Strange, funny, emotional, but now you'll never forget the list. Milan tried it with his English vocabulary. Instead of memorizing random words, he built crazy stories. Soon, words stuck inside his mind like glue. Mini challenge. Here are 5 English words. Courage, river, mountain, clock, bird. Can you create a strange story linking all 5? Try now. Pause. Imagine. You see, the story method doesn't just improve memory, it also makes learning English entertaining, creative, and emotionally alive. And when learning is alive, forgetting is impossible. Now let's move to step 5. Practice spaced repetition. Because one-time learning is fake learning. True memory is built over time with repeated signals to your brain. Think of writing on sand. You write a word today, but by tomorrow, waves erase it. Without review, your learning fades completely into nothingness. But with spaced repetition, each review strengthens the writing until it becomes carved in stone. That is how real long-term memory is created. Milan learned the English word resilience. He liked it, but soon forgot it. Then he applied spaced repetition. Hour 1, he repeated it. Day 1, he wrote it. Day 2, he used it in a conversation. Day 4, he wrote a story. Day 7, he smiled when hearing it. Day 14, he taught it to a friend. Now resilience was his forever. Not just a word he once read, but a living part of his vocabulary. Ready to use anytime in English conversations. You can use tools like Anki, Quizlet, or paper flashcards. The secret is not the tool, but the timing. Review again and again until knowledge becomes unshakable. Mini challenge. Learn the English word serendipity. It means finding something good without looking for it. Repeat it now. Use it today, and review it in 2 days. Step 6 is perhaps the most beautiful. Use emotional connection, because the stronger the feeling, the deeper the memory, and the longer it lasts inside your heart. Think back to your life. Do you remember last week's breakfast? Probably not, but you remember heartbreaks, victories, humiliations, and powerful compliments that touched your soul. That is because emotion tells the brain, this matters. Store this forever. Facts without feeling fade. Facts with feeling become unforgettable treasures you carry forever. Milan tested this while learning English words. For abandon. He didn't just read to leave. He remembered when his best friend left school, and the pain remained. Suddenly, abandon wasn't just a definition. It was an emotion, a personal story, a scar turned into language. That word would never leave him again. Even math can be emotional. A triangle's area equals half base times height. Boring? Imagine it's a slice of pizza. You're starving, but get only half. Painful? Unforgettable? Mini challenge. Take a new English word. Example. Fragile. Connect it to a strong memory. Maybe the day you dropped your phone. Feel the regret. That emotion locks the word inside. Now step 7, teach what you learn. Because teaching is remembering twice. Nothing makes memory stronger than explaining something clearly in your own words. Milan once learned the English word procrastinate. If he walked away silently, he forgot. But when he explained it to his brother, he remembered it forever. Why? Because teaching forces 3 things. Recall the idea, organize it clearly, express it personally. This transforms knowledge from something you borrowed into something you own completely. You don't need to be a teacher. Teach yourself in the mirror, share with a friend, write a short post, even whisper to your notebook. Mini challenge. Take one thing you've learned so far in this video. Now, pause. Teach it out loud to yourself in simple English. That moment locks it inside. Milan felt powerful. For the first time, he trusted his brain. Every lesson he taught became permanent. Every word he explained became a part of him. And so he was ready for step 8. Create a mind palace. One of the most legendary memory techniques in history, used by philosophers, champions, and geniuses alike. Your brain remembers places better than random facts. Childhood homes, favorite cafes, familiar roads. They all live inside you with vivid details, even after decades. So why not place knowledge inside these familiar locations? That way, you can walk through your mind like a palace, collecting memories from each room. Milan built his palace using his small apartment. Living room for planets, kitchen for history, bedroom for vocabulary. Each room became a living library of knowledge. For example, he memorized the planets. Mercury was a pan on fire in his living room. Venus, a perfume bottle spraying fog in the kitchen. Earth, a spinning globe in the bathroom. Mars was red dust on the bed. Jupiter, a giant balloon on the balcony. Saturn, rings around the stair pole. Uranus, a shivering ice cube. Neptune, waves at the gate. Now, No matter how many years passed, he could walk through his apartment and recall the planets in perfect order. Memory had become space. Mini challenge. Choose your house or school. Pick 3 rooms. Place 3 English words in each using crazy images. Walk through your palace. You will never forget them again. Milan now discovered a hidden secret. Step 9. Review before sleep. Because night is when your brain decides what to keep and what to throw away. Schools never teach this, but science proves it. In the last 10 minutes before sleep, your brain organizes the entire day and selects permanent memories. If you scroll random videos before bed, your brain keeps the nonsense and deletes the lessons. But if you review knowledge, it saves it deeply. Milan tested this. Before sleep, instead of Instagram, he whispered 10 new English words, created quick sentences, and visualized them with emotion. The next morning, they remained. This simple nightly ritual transformed his learning. No extra time needed. Just 5 focused minutes before sleep gave him memory power he never thought possible. Mini challenge. Tonight. Review 5 English words or lessons before sleeping. Whisper them. Imagine them. Wake up tomorrow and see how strongly they stay inside you. Now step 10. Write things down, because writing is the save button of the brain. What you write becomes permanent. What you don't write fades away. When you only read or listen, your brain is passive. But when you write, your brain becomes active, organized, and fully committed to remembering the knowledge. Milan began carrying a small notebook, every English word he loved. He wrote it down with meaning, sentence, and personal story. Soon, his notebook became priceless. For example, resilience. He wrote the meaning, then a sentence. After losing his job, his resilience helped him rebuild. Then a personal note. I want resilience too. This 1-minute writing ritual turned vocabulary into living experiences. He wasn't memorizing anymore. He was building his own personal English library for life. Science agrees. Students who handwrite notes remember better than those who only type. Writing slows the mind, activates memory, and builds deeper connections. Mini challenge. Grab a notebook today. Write 1 new English word, add its meaning, a sentence, and 1 personal connection. You will never forget that word again. Step 11. Use active recall, the most honest and powerful memory method, because understanding is not remembering. The real test is, can you recall without looking? Milan once believed rereading was enough, but when exams came, he realized he couldn't recall anything without the book. That's when he discovered the power of testing himself. Active recall is simple. Close the book. Ask your brain, can I remember it now? No cheating, no notes, just pure mental effort. That struggle builds strength. Think of it like the gym. Watching someone lift weights doesn't make you stronger, but lifting yourself does. Active recall is lifting memory weights daily. Milan practiced with English quotes. Consistency is more important than intensity. He read it, then covered it, repeated it, explained it aloud. Each recall made the memory deeper. He also used flashcards. Question on one side, answer on the other. He forced his brain to pull knowledge out instead of pushing it in passively. Mini challenge. Pause this video. Recall 3 things you've learned so far without looking. Speak them out loud. That uncomfortable silence is actually your brain growing stronger. Now step 12. Protect your mind from overload, because a crowded brain cannot remember anything. Your memory is not failing. It is drowning in too much noise. Milan's mornings used to start with chaos. Notifications, videos, messages. By 9 a.m., his brain was already exhausted, unable to remember even the simplest grocery list. The mind is like a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they choke the flowers. Protecting memory means choosing carefully what enters your mental world. So Milan began a new routine. Morning silence before touching his phone, 1 hour daily without screens, journaling every night to release mental clutter. His brain felt lighter. This discipline turned his memory into a sanctuary. He no longer carried other people's noise. He carried only what mattered: his goals, his words, his knowledge. Mini challenge. Tomorrow morning, give yourself 5 minutes before checking your phone. Breathe. Focus. Write one English goal for the day. Notice how clear your mind feels. By now, Milan had walked through all 12 steps, from understanding memory to guarding his mind. He was no longer the same frustrated learner he once was. He could now remember English words easily. He could recall stories, dates, facts. He trusted his brain again. His mind was finally his ally, not his enemy. But here's the final truth. Knowing these steps is not enough. Living them daily, practicing them, turning them into habits, that is what creates transformation. So Milan's journey is also your challenge. Will you just listen and walk away? Or will you train your mind and unlock the memory waiting inside you? Milan's life began to change, slowly at first, but with each step, his memory grew stronger, and his confidence in English became unshakable. One evening, Milan joined a study group. His friends complained about forgetting everything they read. Milan smiled, knowing he had discovered a new path. When asked to recall vocabulary, Milan didn't hesitate. He remembered words, explained them with stories, and even taught his friends using the very methods you've just learned. His friends were shocked. "How do you remember everything?" they asked. Milan replied softly, "I built a system. Memory isn't talent, it's training, discipline, and practice." This transformation wasn't magic, it was consistency. Milan repeated, visualized, wrote, recalled, and reviewed before sleep. Slowly, these became habits that shaped his mind, and soon, English words stopped being foreign. They became part of him, alive, emotional, connected to his stories, anchored in his heart like lifelong companions. Mini challenge. Choose one English word today. Make it your companion. Visualize it. Write it, feel it, recall it, teach it. Watch how it becomes yours forever. One day, Milan faced a difficult exam. Before, exams terrified him, but this time, he walked in calm, knowing he had built memory like a fortress. As questions appeared, answers came flowing, not forced, not crammed, but alive, like books neatly arranged in his inner library, ready whenever he reached for them. For the first time, Milan left an exam smiling, not because it was easy, but because his mind had finally become trustworthy. He felt unstoppable. The same happened in conversations. When speaking English, he once froze, forgetting words mid-sentence. But now, words arrived naturally because he had lived them emotionally. At a cafe, someone asked, "What's the meaning of resilience?" Milan explained fluently, gave examples, and told a short story. His confidence impressed everyone at the table. Learning English was no longer about memorizing boring lists. It had become an adventure, a story, a living experience woven into his daily life. Mini challenge. Next time someone asks you a word, don't just define it. Give an example. Tell a mini story. Teaching this way will lock the word permanently inside. But the greatest change was deeper. Milan no longer feared forgetting. He no longer blamed his brain. Instead, he trusted it, respected it, and trained it daily. This new mindset affected everything. His focus grew sharper, his emotions steadier, his self-image stronger. He was no longer just a student. He was becoming a master. And isn't that what you want too? To wake up each morning confident, knowing your brain will hold what matters and let go of what doesn't. You see, memory isn't only about exams or language, it is about life itself. What you remember becomes your story. What you forget disappears forever. So protect your story. Build it with attention, images, emotions, and discipline. Every word, every lesson, every moment can either fade or become unforgettable. The choice is yours. Milan's journey proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary memory. He wasn't a genius. He was just consistent, curious, and willing to practice the 12 steps daily. And you can too. Right now, you hold the same key. The difference will not be talent. The difference will be whether you use it. Mini challenge. Tonight, write down 3 lessons from this video. Teach them tomorrow to someone else. That simple act will prove your brain is already transforming. Milan's friends began noticing. His grades improved. His English conversations grew fluid. His memory seemed sharp. But more than anything, his confidence inspired others. He became living proof that memory training isn't theory, it's reality. And anyone, including you, can rewrite their story if they choose to start today, one day. Milan reflected on his past. He remembered the frustration of forgetting. He remembered the pain of feeling weak. And he smiled, because that chapter was closed. Now, when he looks ahead, he sees a future filled with clarity, confidence, and possibility. His mind is no longer his enemy. It is his greatest ally. And this, my friend, is where your journey truly begins. The same steps Milan used are now in your hands. The choice is yours. Milan's story is not just about memory. It is about awakening the hidden strength inside every one of us, including you. Right now, he began hopeless, frustrated, forgetting names, words, and lessons. But with each step, he rose higher, stronger, until his brain became his greatest superpower. Now let's quickly revisit the 12 steps that changed Milan's life. Because these same steps can change your life too, if you truly apply them. Step 1. Understand how memory works. Your brain is not broken. It is untrained. Once you know the system, you can finally begin to master it. Step 2. Pay full attention. Memory begins with focus. What you notice clearly stays. What you ignore vanishes forever, no matter how important it once felt. Step 3. Turn words into pictures. Because your brain loves images, colors, and stories. Pictures stick, while abstract text fades quickly without leaving a trace. Step 4. Use the story method. Connect facts into funny, emotional stories. Lists disappear. Stories stay alive in your mind forever. Storytelling is memory's best friend. Step 5. Practice spaced repetition. One-time learning is fake. Review again and again at spaced intervals until your knowledge becomes permanent, reliable, and unshakable. Step 6. Use emotional connection. Feelings are the glue of memory. If it touches your heart, your brain will never forget it, even after decades. Step 7. Teach what you learn, because teaching is remembering twice. Sharing knowledge forces you to recall, organize, and express, making it permanently yours. Step 8. Create a mind palace. Place information inside familiar locations. Walk through them in your imagination and collect memories like treasures in a temple. Step 9. Review before sleep. In the last minutes of your day, remind your brain what matters. Sleep will lock it permanently inside your memory. Step 10. Write things down. Writing is the save button of your mind. One notebook written with care is worth more than 10 unread books. Step 11. Use active recall. Don't just reread. Close the book. Test yourself. Struggle. Recall. That struggle is growth. That effort makes memory permanent. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. A crowded brain forgets everything. Guard your focus, silence the noise, and give space for what truly matters. 12 steps. Simple, clear, powerful, together. They transformed Milan from a forgetful student into a confident master of memory and fluent English learner. Now imagine yourself applying these steps. Exams no longer terrify you. English conversations feel natural. Every word you study stays alive inside your mind. You walk into a room confident. You meet someone new. Remember their name instantly. You read a book and recall its lessons clearly. Years later, this is not fantasy. It is reality. Waiting for your decision. The difference is not genius. The difference is daily action, daily commitment, daily practice. Mini challenge. Choose 2 steps today. Maybe writing and reviewing before sleep. Practice them for 7 days. Notice how your memory grows stronger and more reliable. Your brain is not weak. It is waiting for you to train it, respect it, and unlock the treasure it has always carried inside. And remember, as you learn memory, you are also mastering English. Every sentence you heard today has trained your focus, vocabulary, and listening naturally. This is the gift. 2 powers at once. A sharper mind and a stronger language. Memory and English. Growing together, making you unstoppable. So here is my final invitation. Don't just watch. Live this. Train your brain. Speak English with confidence. Remember everything that matters in your life, because one day you will look back and you will either say, "I forgot everything," or proudly say, "I remembered what mattered most." The choice is yours. If this message touched you, if you want more journeys like this, then stay with me. Subscribe now. Share this with a friend. Begin today. On this channel, we don't just learn English, we grow stronger, sharper, and unforgettable. Together, we become the best version of ourselves in mind and in life. Your memory is ready, your English is waiting, your future is calling. Now step forward with courage. Let's make your mind truly unforgettable.